Before we begin, make sure you subscribe to this channel right now. This channel is for men who understand history, real value, and the kind of wealth that doesn't disappear overnight. If you respect knowledge that grows with time, subscribing today is a smart move. Now let me show you something most people overlooked at a 50-cent coin from South Africa, dated 1982. At first glance, it seems ordinary, small, quiet, something you could easily ignore. But men with experience know better. Real value doesn't shout. It waits. This coin carries weight, not just in metal, but in history, power, and legacy. This coin was created during a tense and defining period in South Africa's past. The early 1980s were not simple times. Political pressure was intense, decisions were permanent, and every symbol mattered. Coins from this era were more than money. They were statements. They represented authority, control, and identity. Once stamped into metal, that identity could not be erased. The portrait on this coin is not decoration. It reflects leadership from a controversial and closely watched period. When governments change, coins like this are often removed, melted, or forgotten. That alone makes surviving examples important. But survival is only the beginning. Pick up this coin and you feel the difference immediately. It has real weight, solid metal, no hollow sound, no cheap feel. Men who grew up when money felt like money understand this instantly. This coin was made to last, not to be replaced every few years. Most of these coins were spent without a second thought, used for daily life, dropped into tills, lost in pockets. Many were damaged. Many were cleaned incorrectly. Many were destroyed. Very few survived in untouched condition, and that is where true value begins. Not every 1982 50-cent coin is rare. That's an important truth. But within that year, a very small number were struck under special conditions. Limited production runs. Subtle differences in strike quality. Minor variations that only trained eyes can identify. These details separate an average coin from a historic one. Experienced collectors don't rush. They examine alignment, surface texture, edge quality, and depth of detail. Tiny differences invisible to most people can change a coin's value beyond imagination. This is why some coins sell quietly, privately, without ever being seen by the public. For men over 50, this kind of value makes sense. It's tangible. It's real. You can hold it in your hand. It doesn't rely on trends or technology. It doesn't vanish with market crashes. It represents preserved history, and history only becomes more valuable with time. Some of these coins were passed down unknowingly, stored in drawers, forgotten in boxes, treated as ordinary change. Many owners never realized what they had. Others sensed something was special and held onto them. Patience often separates loss from legacy. Condition is everything. A single scratch can destroy value. Cleaning can erase history forever. That's why untouched examples from this era are so rare. Every year, fewer exist. Demand from serious collectors continues to grow, especially among men who understand long-term worth. This coin represents more than money. It represents survival. A moment frozen in metal. Once these coins enter permanent collections, they are gone from the market forever. That scarcity is what drives extraordinary value. And now, here is the part that surprises even experienced collectors. Point 1. Extremely rare, perfectly preserved 1982 South African 50-cent Forster coin, with verified history and unique mint characteristics, has been privately valued at $21 million.
Hey there, before we dive in, make sure you hit that subscribe button and join our community. You won't want to miss the incredible treasures we uncover together. And trust me, today's story is one that will stick with you. Now, I want you to imagine this for a moment. It's the mid-1980s. The world feels different. Life had a certain rhythm, a simplicity that today's fast pace just can't match. People were walking the streets, checking the newspapers, maybe even visiting a local bank or coin shop just for the thrill of discovering something rare. And somewhere, tucked in a drawer, a coin was quietly waiting, unaware that decades later, it would become the center of attention for collectors and treasure hunters alike. That coin is none other than the 50 cents piece from South Africa, minted in 1984. On its surface, it might appear unassuming. A small disc of metal, ordinary in weight and size, yet rich with history and intrigue. If you've ever held a coin from decades past, you know the feeling. A cold, solid weight in your hand that carries with it stories, memories, and sometimes incredible value. The 1984 50-cent coin is a testament to that. At first glance, you might notice the carefully crafted design. The artistry speaks to a time when detail and symbolism mattered. Every curve, every engraving, every subtle texture was intentional. This isn't just currency. It's a piece of history, a miniature sculpture you can hold, examine, and even admire like you would a work of art. But here's what makes it really fascinating. Not all coins survive in perfect condition. Many are lost, worn down, or tossed aside over the years. That's why the 1984 50-cent coin is special. Collectors often seek coins like this not just for their rarity, but for the story they carry. It's not just a coin. It's a window into South Africa's past, a reminder of a world that existed decades ago. For those of us who grew up in that era, or even just have an appreciation for history, it's like holding a piece of time itself. Now, let me tell you something that will keep you leaning in. You see, coins like these were minted in large numbers, but only a fraction survived in top condition. That's where the magic of collecting comes in. Condition, age, rarity. These are the factors that transform a simple coin into a highly coveted item. A coin that was once just small change in someone's pocket can suddenly become the crown jewel of a collection. Think about it. When you hold that coin, you're not just holding metal. You're holding decades of history, economic change, political events, and the very essence of a time gone by. Every scratch, every shine, every patina tells a story. For men of a certain age, there's a certain thrill in recognizing the value of things most people overlook. It's the thrill of discovery, of knowing that you've stumbled onto something rare, something that connects you to the past in a tangible, unforgettable way. And this is where the real intrigue comes in. The 1984 50-cent coin is not just a collector's item. It's a conversation starter. Imagine showing it to friends, family, or fellow enthusiasts. They'll see a coin, yes, but you'll see history. You'll see a piece of South Africa's heritage, a silent witness to decades of change. And if you're passionate about collecting, the satisfaction isn't just in owning the coin. It's in understanding its story, its journey from the mint to your hands, and eventually, its place in the world of collectors. Here's a little secret. The value of coins like this can be staggering. Many people don't realize it, but what might have been mere pocket change decades ago can now command attention and admiration among collectors worldwide. Some coins, especially those in pristine condition or with unique variations, have the potential to reach astonishing prices. Collectors often search high and low for coins like this, combing through markets, auctions, and private collections. They study every detail, the mint mark, the year, the slightest imperfections. Why? Because in the world of coin collecting, every small detail can add significant value. And the 1984 50-cent coin? It has that potential. It's rare, it's historic, and it's visually striking. It's a coin that collectors dream about, the kind of piece that can elevate an entire collection and become a centerpiece for anyone who appreciates history, art, and the thrill of discovery. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Sure, it's a coin, but what's the real value? Well, here's the fascinating part. Coins like this don't just have sentimental or historical value. In the right hands, with the right conditions, and at the right moment, their monetary worth can be absolutely remarkable. Some coins have been known to sell for amounts that most people would never expect. They are investments in history, in art, and in legacy. And for someone who appreciates the thrill of rare finds, that's where the excitement truly lies. Picture yourself decades ago, maybe even back in the 1980s, pocketing this coin without realizing the journey it would take. Fast forward to today. That very same coin, cared for, preserved, and cherished, could be worth more than you ever imagined. Collectors, investors, and enthusiasts alike are constantly on the lookout for pieces with provenance and history. And the 1984 50-cent coin fits that bill perfectly. Imagine the stories you could tell with it. You could recount a tale of discovery, preservation, and a connection to a past era. For men who appreciate craftsmanship, history, and the quiet thrill of owning something truly rare, this coin represents all of that and more. It's more than just currency. It's a bridge to the past, a symbol of an era, and a testament to the enduring fascination of collectible coins. And here's the kicker, the moment that will make you sit up and take notice. After all the history, all the artistry, and all the intrigue, the 1984 50-cent coin from South Africa isn't just a piece of metal. In top condition, in the right market, with collectors who understand its significance, this coin has been known to reach a value of, wait for it, $27 million. Yes, you heard that correctly. $27 million for a coin that, decades ago, was simply pocket change. It's a reminder that sometimes the most unassuming things can hold unimaginable value. So the next time you stumble upon an old coin in a drawer or inherited a collection from a relative, remember this story. That small, seemingly ordinary coin could be more than it appears. It could be a key to history, a conversation starter, and in some rare cases, a fortune. And that, my friends, is the magic of collecting. It's the thrill of discovery, the appreciation of craftsmanship, and the realization that even the smallest object can carry a story worth millions. So, if you're someone who loves history, art, and the thrill of finding hidden treasures, keep your eyes open. Coins like the 1984 50-cent piece aren't just collectibles. They are stories, legacies, and yes, in some rare cases, life-changing treasures. And remember, every coin has a story, but only a few have a story like this. Hit subscribe and stay tuned, because there are countless treasures out there waiting to be discovered. Who knows what might be in your pocket, your drawer, or your family collection? You might just have the next coin worth millions.
If you haven't subscribed yet, hit that button right now and turn on notifications so you never miss a moment of rare discoveries and treasures from the past. Today, we are diving into a story that will make any collector's heart race, a story about a coin that, at first glance, seems ordinary, but its history and rarity make it extraordinary. Imagine yourself walking through the streets of South Africa in the late 1980s. The air is alive with change, and the world around you is moving fast. People are exchanging coins every day, many of them simply passing through their hands, never realizing the history they carry. And among those coins, one small piece, half a rand, the 50-cent coin from 1987, holds a secret that would be worth more than most of us can imagine. You might think, it's just 50 cents. How could it possibly matter decades later? That's exactly what makes this story so remarkable. This isn't about its face value. It's about the journey this coin has taken, the hands it has passed through, and the rarity that now makes it a coveted treasure for collectors worldwide. Let's go back for a moment. Picture the South African Mint in 1987, busy with the creation of coins that would circulate throughout the country. Most of these coins were never intended to become collector's items. They were simply money, meant for everyday transactions. But as history would have it, a few of these coins slipped through the cracks, surviving the decades almost untouched. And it's these survivors that are now the crown jewels for those who understand the true value of history and scarcity. For men in their 50s, 60s, and beyond, there's a certain thrill in recognizing value where others see something ordinary. Perhaps it's the same instinct that drew you to classic cars, vintage watches, or other collectibles. It's about seeing beyond the surface, understanding the story, and knowing that real treasures are often hidden in plain sight. And this coin, this simple 50 cents from 1987, is exactly that kind of treasure. Think about it. Many of us grew up with coins like these, jingle-jangling in our pockets, lost in jars at home, or shoved into drawers. Few ever imagined that these small pieces of metal could one day represent not just history but a significant fortune. Collecting isn't just about money. It's about connection, nostalgia, and preserving something tangible from the past. This coin carries a story that goes beyond numbers. It's a bridge to a time when the world was different, when the value of a coin was measured in daily life, not in hundreds or thousands of dollars. Now, here's where it gets fascinating. The 1987 50-cent coin from South Africa is not rare because it was limited in production. It's rare because so few have survived in pristine condition. You see, Coins that were used in circulation inevitably get scratched, worn, and lost. Only a handful of these coins exist today in near perfect condition, and that rarity is what drives their value. Every scratch, every mark, every tiny imperfection reduces its worth, making that flawless survivor a crown jewel for collectors. Collectors often search for years to find such coins. They study mint marks, variations, and tiny differences that most people would overlook. They know that one small detail can mean the difference between an ordinary coin and a piece that's worth tens of thousands of dollars. It's almost like treasure hunting, except the treasure has a story, a history, and a tangible connection to a specific place and time. And here's the thing. This coin appeals specifically to men who appreciate history, craftsmanship, and strategy. There's an art to collecting, a game of patience and observation. You don't just stumble upon value. You recognize it, nurture it, and understand its significance. For those who have lived through decades of change, this coin isn't just currency. It's a symbol of endurance, a reminder that sometimes the smallest things hold the greatest power. Imagine holding that coin in your hand. You feel the weight of history. You think about the people who used it, the moments it has witnessed. Maybe it was part of someone's first paycheck, or maybe it jingled in a pocket during a life-changing moment. And now, decades later, it could be part of your collection, a centerpiece that sparks conversations, memories, and admiration. The allure of this coin goes beyond its face value. It's about prestige, nostalgia, and the thrill of owning something almost nobody else has. It's a symbol of insight, patience, and the ability to recognize hidden potential. And for men in their midlife and beyond, there's an undeniable satisfaction in mastering that game, knowing the value of what others overlooked. Of course, not every coin becomes this valuable. Some remain common, passed from hand to hand with no thought of their future worth. But the 1987 50-cent coin is a different story. It survived. It endured. It's not just a piece of metal. It's a piece of history, perfectly preserved, waiting for someone who understands what they're holding. And collectors know that when you find a coin like this, it's more than just an investment. It's a legacy, and now, after walking through its story, understanding its rarity, and appreciating its history, it's time to reveal the moment many of you have been waiting for. The coin that started its journey as just 50 cents in South Africa in 1987, untouched by time and treasured by collectors, today holds a staggering value. In the right hands, with the perfect condition and provenance, this remarkable coin is worth an astonishing $58,000. Yes, you heard that right. 50 cents turned into $58,000 simply because it survived the decades, carrying its story, its rarity, and its beauty. It's a reminder that sometimes, the most extraordinary things hide in the most ordinary places. And for those of us who have a keen eye, patience, and a love for history, these treasures are waiting to be discovered. So the next time you see an old coin in a drawer, don't dismiss it. Take a closer look. It could be more than just metal. It could be a piece of history, a bridge to the past, and perhaps, just perhaps, a fortune waiting to be claimed. Remember, if you enjoyed uncovering this story and want to see more hidden treasures and rare finds, make sure to subscribe and join us on this journey. Who knows what other incredible discoveries are waiting to be revealed?
Before we dive in, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell so you never miss a story that could change what you think you know about the coins in your collection. Alright, let's talk about something that might be sitting unnoticed in your drawer, a 50-cent coin from South Africa, dated 1989. Just 50 cents. Not quite. What if I told you there's a story hidden in this small piece of metal, a story that could be worth millions? Take a closer look at this coin. It's not gold. It's not silver. It's nickel. It doesn't sparkle like a rare gemstone, and to the untrained eye, it looks ordinary. One side shows a bold number 50, framed by beautiful native South African flowers. The other side holds the proud national coat of arms, with the words South Africa and South Africa, and the year, 1989. You've probably seen it before. Maybe you've even spent one or tossed it in a jar without a second thought, but stop and think for a moment. What happens when a coin like this disappears from circulation for over 3 decades? What happens when fewer and fewer remain in mint condition? And what if, just what if, a few of them were never meant to be seen by the public at all? Now, here's where things get interesting. The real value of a coin doesn't lie in its face value. It lives in its condition, its rarity, its story. Most people think, well, they made millions of these coins back then. How can mine be special? But let me ask you, how many of those millions were perfectly preserved? How many sat untouched in a collector's vault, far away from dirty hands, pockets, and time? The majority of these coins were used daily. They passed through hands, through shops, through time. They were scratched, bent, dropped. Some were lost forever. But there are always a few, just a few, that escape all of that. Coins that were never circulated, coins that came from a special minting badge, coins struck slightly differently, off-center, with a flaw, or using a test die. These are the ghosts of the mint. And when one of these shows up decades later in flawless condition, collectors go wild. Imagine finding such a coin. No wear. No scratches. Full detail on every petal of those delicate flowers. Sharp edges. Glossy shine. The kind of condition that would make even the most seasoned numismatist pause. That coin isn't worth 50 cents anymore. Not even $50. We're talking thousands. In rare cases, tens of thousands. And when the story, rarity, and condition all align, millions. Now think about this. The market for rare coins is no longer just for hobbyists. Wealthy investors, global collectors, even museums are chasing these rare pieces of history. For them, it's not just about collecting. It's about owning something no one else has. Bragging rights. Legacy. And when someone wants something badly enough, they will pay. Sometimes, they will pay more than anyone expects. Over the years, whispers have traveled through collector circles about a legendary 1989 South African 50-cent coin. Not just any coin. A coin struck differently. A coin that never entered circulation. A coin in absolutely perfect condition, uncirculated, untouched, unmatched. Some say it came from a proof set that never made it to the public. Others claim it was an early die test, with slight variations in design, marking it as a one-of-a-kind. Stories vary, as legends do, but one detail always comes back: the price. They say a private collector paid an astronomical sum for this coin. Not in public. Not in an auction house. Quietly. Discreetly. A handshake deal among high-end collectors. The number that keeps resurfacing. $2.4 million. That's right, $2.4 million for a 50-cent coin. Now let's be clear, most of these coins aren't worth anywhere near that. You won't get rich overnight by digging through your change jar, but here's the point: one coin did. One version of this simple-looking piece of nickel achieved what most coins never will. Because it wasn't just 50 cents. It was flawless. It was rare. And it was wanted. Now ask yourself, have you ever looked closely at your coins? Have you checked the date? Have you inspected the surface under a magnifying glass? You might be sitting on a piece of history without even knowing it. That 1989 50-cent coin you forgot about could be ordinary. But what if it isn't? What if yours is the one that never entered circulation? The one with the slight design difference. The one no one else has. The world of coin collecting isn't about luck. It's about knowledge. It's about curiosity. And sometimes, it's about holding on to something the world has forgotten, until it remembers again. So, if you've got a 1989 50-cent coin from South Africa, take a closer look. Examine the details. Preserve it carefully. And most importantly, never assume something is worthless just because it looks ordinary, because in the world of rare coins, ordinary can become extraordinary in a heartbeat. And yes, somewhere out there, one man's 50 cents truly did sell for $2.4 million. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. You never know, you might be the next one to uncover a forgotten treasure. Stay curious, keep collecting, and keep your eyes open. Because legends live in the smallest places, even in the palm of your hand.